Welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is all about the cost savings of studying medical billing and coding on your own. If you are brand new to my channel, welcome. I am Blue. I'm a medical coder. Okay, guys. So if you are wanting to get into medical billing and coding and you're saying, Blue, I don't qualify for all of these programs to study medical billing and coding and having, a program to pay for it, how can I study because I really want to do this, but I don't want to spend thousands of dollars. And, if I get into this program, it's a cheapy program and it's $1,200. Will your self-study syllabus, will it help me? Will it be a good supplement for my program? So first of all, when it comes to these little cheapy programs like $1,000, $1,200, you really have to look at what they're preparing you for, because sometimes they're not even preparing you for the CCS, CCA, CCSP, or the CPC. These are the four main medical coding certifications that employers look for. So if medical billing and coding is what you want to do, then you need to sit for one of these four. And you need a program that is going to prepare you to sit for one of these four. So sometimes these cheapy programs, sometimes they do prepare you, they say, and sometimes they don't. They prepare you for another certification. It's not even a certification, it's a certificate. Because and I'm not even going to say which one it is, because it just irritates me, because of the simple fact that how are you going to have coding and billing in the title of this certificate, and you don't even require books to be used to take that exam? No. That's, to me, no. But that's another that's another subject. I get real tongue-tied because it just, so many people look at our industry and think, oh, no, blah, 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 all these things about medical billing and coding, and not really knowing the depth of the knowledge that we have to have in order to pass these certification exams. So when I see these other certificates that are out there and they don't raise the bar for medical billing and coding, I just have my own opinions on that. But with that said, I have an independent study syllabus for medical billing and coding. I talk about this all the time. Now, I had it out for free, but again, I've talked about why I took it down. But now I have a paid version up, okay? And a lot of people will ask me these one little liner questions, can it help me? Well, the thing is, my independent self-study syllabus is a breakdown of all of the subjects that you have to learn and sit for one of the four main medical coding certifications: the CCS, the CCA, the CCSP, or the CPC, okay? The first three are with the American Health Information Management Association, and the CPC is with the American Academy of Professional Coders. The American Health Information Management Association and the American Academy of Professional Coders both have their own medical billing and coding program, okay? AAPC allows you to make payments, on the program, and so does AHIMA. But AHIMA, they have either a whole 13-course bundle that you can purchase all at one time, but you get 1 year to complete it. And if you choose not to go that route, you say, well, I want to have, a little bit of freedom to study whenever I want to, so I'm going to purchase a la carte. You can purchase the courses a la carte. And a la carte means one at a time. And if you do that, then you have a little bit more time, okay? Depending on how long. I think some of them is 6 months that you have access to the program. So that's something that you can do. It's a little bit more affordable because it's not all the fees all up front. But with AHIMA's 13-course bundle, the price of the course, I believe, is still $2,995, $2,995. That is not including the cost of the books, okay? So both the American Health Information Management Association and the American Academy of Professional Coders, both of their programs, even with the sales, they're going to be just under or right around $5,000. So if you want to piecemeal it out with AHIMA, you can. If you want to go through the payment plans with AAPC, you totally can as well. Whatever you choose to do. And yes, the books come with the program, I believe, with AAPC. So, and then they have a choice of whether you want to go for an instructor-led or you want to go the self-study route. The instructor-led, I am not with AAPC, But I will say that I do hear from the people that take that course with the instructor led. I've gotten some that were not so good reviews, and then I've gotten some that were like, oh my gosh, I didn't even have a chance to ask a question, or I would ask and then they would take forever to respond to me. That's just what they tell me. I've never been through this. This is why I tell you guys that the only ones that I can recommend are my independent self-study syllabus or HEMA or AAPC, because they are the associations themselves, okay? So please stop asking me, because I can't answer like for any of these other schools out there. I don't know, and I don't have relationships with them. And I would never like say, oh yes, this is a good product, and I've never done it myself, because I'm not a sellout. There's other people that are willing to promote things that they've never gone through, but that's not me. That's not me. And why some of you still continue to get upset with me for that, I have no idea. Because to me, I will want somebody like me who is saying, hey, yeah, I haven't been through this. I can't respond to this, you know? So, but with that said, when you decide to get into this field, and maybe you got into a cheapy program and you're saying, well, I'm not really learning anything from this. You know, I'm thinking about purchasing your independent self-study syllabus. Okay. The self-study syllabus will break down all of the subjects that you have to learn. And this took me months, again, to put together. And I'm looking at it from both associations and what's covered on these exams, the most common things that are covered on these exams. And some of the syllabus is broken down to, okay, this is for if you're going to take the CCS or the CCA. This is for if you're going to take the CCSP or the CPC. This subject is for this. And so that's the thing that you should know about purchasing that. The self-study syllabus is a syllabus. It is a guide. It is a 3-page document, okay, that has all of the subjects, the breakdown of the estimated weeks and the time that you would take to cover that subject. And then it's giving you like pointers on how to study and things like that. Then there's also the, the recommended book list. Now, a lady asked me the other day, well, you said this is what your self-study syllabus costs, but what does it cost for all of the books? This is a little, guys, come on. We need to do some of our own research. And I have said before, there's plenty of places where you can find books. There's some books on my independent self-study syllabus that are required, because it's the only way that it's going to make sense. Because there's a workbook out there for medical billing and coding that I personally don't like, that a lot of these cheapy programs use. I can't stand that book. I'm not even going to mention it because it's that irritating to me, and I'm not going to give them any free advertising on my channel at all. But I don't like it. I don't like that book at all, period. It is written in a way that is very confusing for new people, okay? So the books that I recommend are specific to my syllabus. And it is meant to, like, I know these books personally. I have these books. I love these books. And these books are fantastic at really breaking down the subjects of ICD-10-CM, ICD-10-PCS, and CPT. So that's why I recommend those particular ones. Now, the lady that had asked, well, what is the cost, the total cost? I have said before, there's many cost-effective ways of getting some of these books. Some of these books are available at your public library for free. And you don't have to use the current year workbooks to study with. You can go a few years back, like 2022. That's okay. Okay. Any further back than that, you're going to run into a lot of things that have been updated. Okay. But 2022 is a great time, like for workbooks, just for the coding workbooks. All right. That you can go back to. But again, in the self-study syllabus, I have the whole list of all the books, and we're going to get into the books a little bit more here in a minute. And then I have a supplemental resource list that is very comprehensive with additional information that will help you to study, and it will help you to break the monotony of always working with books. You know, I list my channels that I recommend on YouTube for learning as well. And so these are things that are going to help supplement your studies. So the cost is all of this information. That's all of this information. It is up to you to go out and get those books. Like I said, the cost to you on those books is going to depend on how resourceful you can get. I have said, this is not an ad for Optum, but optumcoding.com. 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 OptumCoding.com is where you got to go for the best deals right now. And we are November, well, when this video comes out, it'll be November 21st. But November 21st, 2025, right now they're having 65% off the books, the coding manuals. So if you wanted to purchase for the 2025s, okay, for the 2025s, if you wanted to purchase the 2025s right now, I'm telling you, this is the price. And you can use the 2025 coding manuals along with my syllabus, if you order my syllabus, to study and get you prepared for next year. And if you say, well, Blue, I don't have all these hundreds of dollars for these coding manuals, well, get a load of this just to study with for right now. 2025 ICD-10-CM Expert for Physicians. That's the one that I recommend because that's the one that I like. Because the Expert for Hospitals is a little hinky when it comes to how to look stuff up. It's just weird, okay? It's weird. I don't like it. A lady tried to tussle with me about, oh, well, it's for the CCS. Okay, again, I took the CCS with the ICD-10-CM Expert for Physicians, and I passed. So think about this, okay? Veteran, coder, I know what I'm talking about. Don't tussle with me, all right? Especially if you're a student, really. I'm recommending the ICD-10-CM Expert for Physicians. The 2025 version of this book from Optum that you can use if you're going to take your exam all the way up till the end of April 2026 with the HEMA, right? You're taking your exam with the HEMA, you can use the 2025s into 2026 all the way to the end of April. The ICD-10-CM Expert for Physicians is $40.23 for the coding manual. $40.23. And the ICD-10 PCS from Optum, the spiral bound that I do recommend because it has the appendix in the back, and it has the the appendix that has all 388 ICD-10 PCS procedures to look up with the answers. And some of the answers have the rationale. And guess how much that book is for the 2025 version? $40.23 as well. For CPT, the AMA CPT Professional Edition that we all have to take these exams, the 2025 version right now is on sale for $110.31. Now, yes, that's a big price jump from the Optum ICD-10-CM and ICD-10 PCS books. However, the AMA, that's just their thing. They're always the AMA is different, and Optum just happens to sell them on their website, and that's the price, that's the sale price, the lowest that they could offer is $110.31. And then there's the HCPCS book, which is available, the 2025 version, the Expert Edition, it's spiral bound for $36.73. So if you are going to study for an outpatient certification like the CCSP or the CPCA, right? The total for the cost for the books that you need, the ICD-10-CM, the CPT book, and the HCPCS book, because that's the only three that you need, is $187.27 for the 3 coding manuals. $187.27. Just so that you have the books to study with. So if you're going to take your test later in the year in 2026, you have time to save up for the 2026 versions. Now, the 2026 versions, they're on sale too as well on the Optum website, but this is just the cheapest possible route, so that way you can study it, see if you like it, because some people will be so gung-ho about it in the beginning, and then they're like, oh my God, I don't want to do this, and I wasted all this money. Well, at least this way you got the 2025 versions, no harm, no foul. Okay, you didn't pay full price for these books. You're paying a discounted price, which I think is freaking fantastic, okay? And then if you're sitting for the inpatient side of the house, I just went ahead and added all of them up together. You don't need the HCPCS book to sit for the exam, but it's already included in the price of this. So if you're sitting for the CCS or the CCA, the total cost for all the books that you need would be $227.50. Actually, it's a little bit less than that because you don't need the Higgins book, but I included the Higgins book in that cost. But you can subtract the $36.73 if you really wanted to. But yes, that's how much it costs. If you're going to be sitting for the CCS or the CCA and you wanted to get the 2025s to learn on right now, right? And, $227.50. That's it. And then for like the books that I recommend. Now, the books that I recommend to study with on the Independent Study Syllabus, and a lot of the other books that I recommend are also in the description box below. You can find those anywhere. You do not have to click on the Amazon affiliate link. You do not have to do any of that stuff. You can just take the title and go find wherever you find your books, Barnes and Noble or anywhere of those places, right? But the ICD-10-CM and ICD-10-PCS coding handbook with the answers, because they have a without the answers version. I don't recommend the without the answers version because how are you going to know if you got the answer right or not? Okay, so the oldest you can get of that book is a 2022 that I recommend. Okay, 2022 is the oldest you can go back. And yes, you can use the current year books to study with an older workbook. And you do that because sometimes the codes are not updated, okay? And sometimes they are. If you notice that the answer in the book is not in your coding manual, then you know that that code got updated. And it's a very easy search, like what did this code get updated to? And you can Google that and then you'll be able to see, okay? But the fundamental ideas are still there. They're still the same, okay? So that's the Nellie book, ICD-10-CM and ICD-10-PCS Coding Handbook with the Answers by Nellie Leon Chizen is the most fantastic book that you could ever learn from if you are learning medical billing and coding, okay? And it's good for all 4 exams. If you are taking the outpatient coding exams, the CCSP or the CPC, then you can skip the ICD-10-PCS questions, okay? And you'll know those questions versus the diagnosis questions. But the cheapest that I have seen that you could get it used is $71. Now, if you look at it on Amazon, it's going to say like $167 and that kind of thing. You can also try the public library to see if they have it. And they may have it. They may have it. And you can learn from that book, okay? And then there's a CPC study guide. Now, just because you study with the CPC study guide does not mean that you have to take the CPC. But the reason that I recommend the CPC study guide, even if you're sitting for the CCS, the CCA, or the CCSP, right? All these are the AHIMA exams. Even though you're studying with the CPC study guide, it is so good. That book is fantastic. And I'm not with AAPC, but that book is so fantastically written. There's a few things that I disagree with when it comes to the code selections, but for the most part, it is very simple and straightforward. They did a fantastic job. And I will talk highly of any coding tool or manual or book that will help coders. Doesn't matter who wrote it. I will talk highly if it is good, if I deem it to be good, and I deem that book to be fantastic and good. So you can use that to help you study because, again, that is going to help prepare you for the CPT side of the coding, because the CCS and the CCA both cover a CPT coding as well. So that's still a fantastic book for you. And the cheapest that I have seen it used is $21. But you can always go onto the AAPC website, and I believe it's $149. I don't know. I didn't look to see how much the CPC study guide was, but you can always look at that. You don't have to get the membership because they have a non-member, and I believe it's $149. I could be wrong, but just check it out, okay? But the other one that I recommend from AAPC is a CPB, is a Certified Professional Biller. Why do I recommend this? Because it has billing and reimbursement questions in it, something that is covered on all 4 medical coding certification exams. So again, I like the breakdown, I like the simplicity of it all, I like the directness, the straightforwardness of that book, and it is $149.95 without the membership. Okay, so if you are already a member of AAPC, you may be able to get the discount with it, right? I think it's $99.95 or something like that. So that's just something it's out there. All right, it's out there for you. But those are some of the books that I recommend. And then, like I said, when you're studying medical billing and coding, there will be other things that you will have to study that are in general, medical terminology, anatomy, and pathophysiology, and pharma. And these are, again, you can go to the public library and check those out for free. There's no need to have to pay for all of these books. And again, if you can go to your public library and see if they have the CPC study guide or the CPB or the Nelly book, you can go there and see and be able to check out those books for free. It does not have to be hard. It does not have to be expensive. It does not have to be that you have to purchase all these things that are put in front of you, okay? But that takes care of the books, okay? So do your research, guys. Don't try to have me hand feed you, because I won't. I don't hand feed. I don't hand feed, and in fact, it irritates me when people ask me to hand feed them, basically, because, well, Blue, they just need to know. This is why I say the cadence of my message never changes. What have I always said? Optum. That's where you got to go for your books. And the Nelly book and the CPC study guide. I have always said that. The cadence of my videos has never changed in all of the years I've been on here. Never. So with that said, right, you got all of that out of the way. You got your books going, right? So you're studying a subject at a time and you're doing all these things. You purchase my my self-study syllabus or you don't. It's up to you guys, okay? But I'm just telling you that you want that direction, you want my knowledge and how I would tell you to study, then you got to purchase the thing, okay? So, but other than that, right, we have all of that out of the way. Now you say, well, Blue, it's great. I love self-studying and I'm doing a good job and it helps me because I don't have to put out all this money. I'm not getting into debt in order to learn something so that I can better my life for myself and my family. But I'm stuck. I don't understand. What do? I don't understand what I'm doing. Here is where you can hire a tutor or you can try to find a mentor. A mentor will help you for free. There are tons of people on LinkedIn who are more than happy to answer questions. So for some, they do it because they love the field and they love helping others. And for some, it is like, well, you know, it's this and this and this. So guys, you just post your question on LinkedIn, okay? You will find the people that will be happy to answer your question, but don't just blindly follow what they say. Make sure that you are doing your research to verify what they said, because not everybody, just because sometimes they have a bunch of credentials, not everybody is a good coder, okay? Because it's all going to depend on the individual. There are some people who get caught up in their whole thing of, oh, well, I've done it this way for years. And they don't change and they don't study and they're hard-headed and they don't want nobody to tell them that they're wrong. You know, you have to be willing to learn, okay? Or you can hire yourself a tutor. Now, a tutor is going to be able to help you one-on-one, okay? There's tons of tutors. The table is so big for all of us to eat. This is what I always say. So, yes, while I am a tutor, I acknowledge that there are some people who say, well, Blue, I just can't afford you. That's okay, guys. It doesn't hurt my feelings, all right? But what I'm telling you is to get out there and you can post on LinkedIn. You can say, I'm looking for a tutor. I have X amount of dollars, you know, per hour to hire somebody to do tutoring. You know, is there anybody who's willing to work for this or anybody willing to answer my questions for this? Whatever the case may be, okay? But do what is financially right for you, but also that you're going to get the help that you need, okay? So you can either post a question and without complaining, no one wants to hear you complain. No one wants to hear complaining. Not, oh, I don't understand this, or this was a stupid idea, or I never learned. And no. No, you won't. You will not get help that way. What you will get is a bunch of people blocking you. I have blocked many of people doing that. Don't go on LinkedIn acting a fool, or Facebook. Don't go on Facebook acting a fool either, because trust me, I have a Facebook page for Medical Coding with Blue. I watch those comments really carefully because you're not going to sit here and act a fool on my page, okay? You're not. We're not doing that. But you can post questions if they're legitimate. You can post questions. I don't have no problem with that. But again, I do delete comments where people start complaining. Oh, no. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. And I did the Facebook page for all of you because y'all were asking me, after me. Oh, we need a Facebook page for medical. I do it. Nobody is on there. And then somebody had the gall to complain. Oh, well, there's no action here. Well, do you want to contribute to the conversation? You need to contribute to the conversation. Contribute to the conversation. Because that's what we're going to do there. We're not going to complain. So, with that said, but yes, you can solicit that way. Like, hey, I need a tutor. Does anybody know a tutor? Does anybody know a tutor for this amount of money or whatever it is that you want to pay? Okay. There are people out there who will answer your questions and who will help you out. There's no issue there. If you want to book a tutoring session with me, my rate and contact is in the description box below, along with all the other information about the Independent Self-Study Syllabus and how to order it and what all comes with it, and just it's there, guys. And all the books that I recommend, all in the description box below. So yes, this Independent Self-Study Syllabus can help you if you've got into a fast-paced medical coding program. The books that I'm going to recommend are probably going to be way different from what you have. You can still use your coding manuals that you have. Maybe they give you AAPC coding manuals, or maybe they give you Elsevier coding manuals. Whatever the case may be, you can still use those to, help, with your, if you order my self-study syllabus, you can still use those to like look up, for the books, but you will need to get those workbooks. Okay. That's the only way that the syllabus works, is if you get the workbooks. All right. But everything else, medical terminology, anatomy, and pathophysiology, I have my recommendations, but you are welcome to get any book that you can find about that. I do not recommend medical coding for dummies. I don't like the dummies series at all. I just think that it's just playing into that, and it's a gimmick. If you are going to start something, don't start off by calling yourself a dummy. It's just, to me, it's just ludicrous. I'm just saying. So with that said, if you're interested in ordering the self-study syllabus, look in the description box and you'll find the information there. If you are still at this and you're saying, okay, well, I'm making good time, you're getting yourself on a schedule, that's very important. It's very important to be studious when you are going this route, because there's not going to be somebody that's on you. Nobody has to be on you, guys, okay? Nobody has to be on you, babysitting you to study and do what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do this, right? You know that you're making a commitment to getting into a new career field. You are doing that, not anybody else. No one has to be sitting here holding your hand the whole way through. No one needs to do that. You're an adult. You can do this. And again, if you've already made up your mind that this is what you want to do, don't let anything stop you. Don't let the fact that, oh, well, I don't have money. That's why the public library is free. Okay? There are so many resources online. It is just not even funny. All the resources, but you got to get resourceful. Okay? So that's my recommendation anyway. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.